guys, thanks for joining me today for another UX Teardown. So today we are going to be looking at something in the slide out cart, and we are going to be looking specifically at cross sells in the slide out cart. So this is a concept that has become pretty popular. The research is mixed, and ultimately this is something that your brand will need to test. But there's this point of contention in the checkout cart about how many products to add, because it creates a distraction for users. But I found a brand that does something that I think is really beneficial. And we're going to talk a little bit about the benefit of that. So we're going to hop on over here. So this is a Shopify site that sells swimwear for the whole family. And I was playing around on the site yesterday, and I thought that it did something that was really cool that I don't see often when it comes to the cross sells in the slide out cart. So I'm going to go into this product page. I am going to choose this, and I'm going to add it to cart. And then when we see the slide out cart come out, the thing that I think is really, really good and beneficial, if you look at this first product that they're offering here, the cross sell is the same swimsuit in the children's version. So they have a little girl size of this same print. So this is like a pretty popular concept to buy, matching family swimsuits or pajamas or whatever it is. And so they offer kids swimwear, and that's the first thing that surfaces here. When I add the women's swimsuit, is I immediately get offered the same swimsuit in the child size. So I think that this is pretty brilliant, because it's complementary to the existing product, so they're able to pull that data, but it also doesn't, it's not that much of a distraction to a user. So I'm not consistently having to sift through all the other products. And then the second product that they offer is basically the cover up to this. So again, this is, I think, a cross sell that makes a lot of sense given the product. The issue that we run into, so when we scroll down a little bit, so the third thing that they offer is the same swimsuit, just in a different color. So again, this is something that you'd have to test, but for me, I don't feel like this is a useful suggestion, because this would create a distraction for a user, because this is just the same swimsuit in a different color. So if I click on this, then I've gone from being in the cart ready to check out, to now I'm somewhere else completely on the website. But I think cross sells in the slide out cart can be really, really beneficial, both for the brand and for the user, because these are products that would be complementary to the product that I already added to the cart, but they don't necessarily create this point of distraction where I'm off on a rabbit trail. Now I'm looking at other things. And all of this data is usually available within Shopify. And so I think that if you leverage the data that you have, and then if you kind of just think about, human behavior and what we know is trending right now, this can allow you to make some really good decisions for your slide out cart. Now, I don't think that adding a lot of options here for additional products or other products is very helpful here. Again, always, this is something that you would need to test within your site specifically. But what we find is when there are too many suggestions in the slide out cart here, people tend to get distracted and they abandon the journey and they're somewhere else. And then, you could potentially lose a purchase. But I think if done really well, I think if you add thoughtful recommendations like these top two here, especially this first one I think is just a really good use of a cross sell here. But I think that it can be done well. I think if you do it mindfully with the existing data that you have, and the knowledge about your specific customer base, I think that this can actually be done in a way that, again, is good for the user and is also good for the brand, which sometimes those things feel like they're at odds a little bit. So I think this is a great option. So if you sell products of this nature where there is a complimentary one, or if you have thoughtful, useful cross sells that you think that you could put in your slide out cart, this would be a great thing for you to be able to test on your site to see if this is something that would work for your users. All right, guys, thanks for joining me today, and I will see you next time.